So the paper that I gave is on the concept of MAʿRÚF, and I'm going to keep calling it MAʿRÚF because although we can translate it, the thing that is known, that doesn't begin to capture what it means when it's used in the Quran. One of the things I noticed over the years in reading the Quran and thinking about the ethical implications of it is that the key words for good deeds or virtuous acts, and there are many of them, of course, unsurprisingly, but two frequently used ones are salih, and words that are derived from the concept of salih, which we usually translate as good or good works or something like that, salihat, good works, and ma'ruf. And what's true of both of these words is that they are not defined. That is, the Quran doesn't say, and a good work is this, or this is what describes a good work. And so for a word like salih, and the root salih that's used so often, this is kind of surprising. And it's all the more true with ma'ruf. And ma'ruf is used both as a noun, that is, to meaning something like a good deed, and it's also used as an adverb. So you're supposed to treat your parents bil ma'ruf, right? In line with or according to ma'ruf. And so the problem was simply, why is this the case? So, of course, I can't say definitively, and I'm not a professional Quran commentator, but it occurred to me that one good way to read this is to believe or to understand that the Quran is telling its hearers in the Prophet's time anyway, and subsequent Muslims who read and heard it, that you already know in a lot of cases what's the right thing to do. That societies have consensus, they have agreements about what is good and how to treat people and so on and so forth. And the Quran is enjoining you to pay attention to that and to be guided by that. Mm-hmm. Now, that's not to say that the Quran simply accepts what's in society and what society agrees upon as good, because of course it doesn't. The Quran is full of criticism of the wrongdoing of people in the Jahili period. But I believe it was also saying that the Quran, or that the society in which the Prophet found himself had already a clear sense of many of the right ways to act, even if people didn't necessarily do that. So that has important implications, because it seems to me that what it's saying is that knowledge, a certain category, a certain set of knowledge that the Quran endorses, may differ from time to time and from society to society, and it may change over time. So I think that there are ways in which things that were perfectly acceptable in the 7th century or the 8th century or the 9th century, Muslims would intuitively believe that those things aren't right now. And I think the Quran is telling them to pay attention to that knowledge. And that, I'm always interested in how texts which really date from so long ago, I mean, the Bible, is a Bronze Age document. The Quran, dates from the end of the Iron Age. How is it that people still find it useful or relevant? How can they make it useful and relevant? And it seems to me in the case of the Quran, it's precisely because the Quran is not a closed set of knowledge. It doesn't say, all you need to know is here. It says, you are encouraged to take advantage of moral reflection and moral knowledge that you have as a citizen, as a person living in a certain time and place, and apply that. And if it is in accord with the other Quranic guidance, then by all means take that seriously and see that as comprising also Quranic virtue and Quranic ethics. So to me, this is an interesting idea. Could well be wrong, but I've been gratified that a number of my colleagues have pointed to texts by distinguished Islamic intellectuals and jurists that seem to say the same thing over time. That Shatibi, for example, seems to be saying that yes, quite apart from what the Quran says, there are other things that you know that you ought to do, and you need to do those things too. So that's basically what the paper's about. And I've profited a lot from the comments of my colleagues, and we're expected to write this up, and so I'm sure the paper will be somewhat different when I actually produce it as compared to what it said when I first gave it to this group.